My name is Patience Ozogo. You call me Mama G, and I say G for General. Keep watching Goldies on WBS TV station. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to Goldie, sipping a little bit of guava water here as we sit down with our special guest for today, TV and radio personality and actor Roger Mugisha. Back then, he was known as The Shadow. Before we jump into all the mist of The Shadow and all that, let's talk a little bit about school. You spoke about being raised and born here in the city. And in terms of school, where did you go for school?
Oh yeah, it was like I said, largely here in Central. My nursery school was in there was a what was it called again? Something I need to remember my nursery school.
Is it still around? Does it still exist?
I've seen it somewhere, but if you're familiar with the Nakulabi roundabout, it's right in that junction there. There's a nursery school because I used to stay in Bakuli.
Okay.
So then I'd walk back or I'd be taken back. Then from there I was in Nakasero briefly. My dad couldn't, because of the war, he could not handle day school because there was always an imminent threat. You had school and then you hear roadblock, looting, and all those things. So day schooling was, so it switched me to boarding school. I went to Kaboja. I was there up to P7. After P7, I joined St. Mary's College Kisubi. I was there from S1 up to S6. Then I joined Makerere.
Okay.
And after Makerere, I went to do radio and TV courses and all and sundry.
And what kind of entertainment groups were you involved in at school? Were you this vibrant, music-loving enthusiast growing up in school?
In school, yeah, I was very, very active in arts and entertainment. Very active. I wrote plays. I acted. I was a dancer. In Kisubi, I was Mr. Smack for 3 consecutive years.
Okay.
I was head of entertainment for a while. I was all over the place.
And in terms of studying, reading, were you getting good grades?
Well, yeah, I was, but stubborn though, stubborn. I had my moments. I had a time, for example, when we had these things like socials and all that. And a time where we're expecting like a soch, like then we used to call it. These days I hear they call them proms or something like that. It would reflect in my results. Because my whole mind would be, what am I going to do? What am I going to wear and all that. But yeah, on the whole, my grades were good.
Sitting down with a remarkable gentleman. He runs the game here in the entertainment industry, Roger Mugisha. But back then, he was popularly known as The Shadow. Speaking of The Shadow, the group, the infamous group, The Shadow, the dancers. And then there was a moment where you kind of moved away from that, and then we heard that you got, born again, you got saved and all that. But then, when you fast forward to what you see and read in the newspapers, you'd be like, I wonder where he falls. Sometimes you see him quite spiritual, maybe going to the church and all that. And then other times you see him on a boat cruise, doing the bend over dance with girls on a boat cruise. So help us set the record straight.
I know that question keeps popping up all the time, and people ask me this and ask me that. Given that my life has really been largely shaped around entertainment, sometimes I really, I like to push the envelope. I like to go into a place because this as a country, entertainment was a virgin territory. There's a lot that needs to be done. Entertainment is a very big industry. It's worth billions and billions of dollars. So for me, innovation in entertainment has always been my thing. And some will be received like all products. Some will be received positively. Others will be received negatively. It was a new idea. It shocked the country. People got, they didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know how to deal with it. They were not sure whether it was legal. A lot of people assumed and they thought that, people actually dance naked, which was not true. And up to now, there's that misconception of thinking, I have people tell me, are you the one who introduced Chimanzolo? No, I'm not.
Your girls were never
No, never. I'm sure you have in your archives, because WBS used to cover us extensively. I'm sure you have in your archives there. You can play from the footage there. There was never a moment where anybody was naked. It was just that the outfits were skimpy for a very conservative society then. But now we have a generation of people who are not as conservative as we were back then, 10 years ago. So what I see today shocks me more than how it shocked the public then.
Yeah, back then they were not so exposed to this world and all.
Back in the days, first of all, a girl putting on tight jeans was indecent. So you can imagine what short shots would mean in such a time. It was a case of, the people are naked.
And then you became famous, but then again, you ran away from that kind of life. And then we heard that you went to, of course, you became born again.
I did no. I listen. This truthfully and genuinely happened. Truthfully and genuinely happened. I had been doing these things for a very long time. I had at some point, out of curiosity, I've been around certain people who inspired me into thinking different things. There's a lot of Hollywood thinking. And Hollywood thinking also comes with so many other things. And, you know, I started giving a few things a try. And you'll forgive me, I don't like to go into the detail of this. I don't like to go into the detail of this because then I have to explain a lot more. But if you asked me, I'll say, well, that was a period in my life when I actually had a real spiritual encounter, a real genuine spiritual encounter.
No, here's the thing. We need for you to set the record straight and clear the air, because you know there are speculations here and there. You read about it in the papers and in reports. Yeah, he's this side or this side. So you clear the air.
There's actually no air to be cleared. It's a simple thing. It's a case of asking your mother, can your mother give birth to you 2 times? If you're born again, you're born again 1 time. If you're born 1 time. You can't say, now I'm tired of it, well, let me go back to my mom's womb. So like, if I'm not an acceptable Christian to other people, that's their problem.
Not so long ago, I saw you on the front page of a newspaper in, you know.
Well, you know,
Is that allowed in the Christian world in a born again?
I have decided to have my own accountability. Because I'm accountable. Bottom line, I'm accountable to my God. It's a personal relationship. I'm accountable to Him. There are truths I share with Him. I'm very sure, and I've always this is my conviction. I believe that by the time He called me, He knew and had measured me out. He knew what I'm capable of. He knows what my weaknesses are. He knows what my strong points are. So I have absolutely nothing to prove to anybody. So like, He called me and accepted me as I am, as I was. So my job is not to try and fit into what other people want to be. Because everybody, it's a personal walk. When I stand on judgment, even if I stood before a court of law, it will be me. It's me swearing on the Bible, swearing on this. It won't be me saying, now on behalf of all the people I've impressed. No. It will be me. Yes.
So Roger Mugisha is born again.
Yes, I am. Proudly, confidently, not to people's standards, not to people's expectations, but hey, I am a work in progress, and I admit that. That's who I am. I cannot pretend to be anything that I'm not. I realized that I was stressing myself more trying to be what I'm not. But then again, I accepted that the grace of God upon my life is still abundant, and He has allowed me to be what I am. So if you're asking whether I'm saved, I don't need to be saved a second time. I am saved.
Yeah, let's keep the show rolling on with the choice of your music. What next do you have for us?
Well, I always like to be guided in terms of like because I have landmarks at every particular time, a song I listen to and say that song. I was a very big Babyface fan, and especially when he came out. I'm also a very big fan of the Fugees when they came out. There's music I listen to at a certain time. But the next song is a song that reminds me of my very first day on radio. There were 3 artists I played actually, and I remember them in that order. First song I played was Fugees, Oola La La.
Okay.
Yeah, Fujila, they call it, yes, Fujila. The next song I played was by Tony Braxton. What's it called? Making Me So High. Okay. Get So High.
Yes.
Excuse me. The third song I played was, what's his name again? George Michael.
Oh, okay.
What's that song? Fast Love or Faster Love.
Okay.
If
Faster
you're
Love,
looking for faster love.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. Yes. Yes. That's 1996, by the way. Yeah, so those 3 songs, awesome. I don't know. Yeah, that's when I started radio. But where were you?
Old school man in the game.
No, I started then, but I was still a young boy then. I just finished like my S6 and I got into it and I started right away. So I started working before I started university. So I got to university when I was working. Well, the songs, if I first go through a list, I used to do countdowns and all those things. So I sort of like remember all these songs. But if I asked to play a song like right now, it just reminds me of that moment. Fujila would do it.